This video is an example of how a Clay student leadership class should be administered.
Hi, welcome to Clay Student Leadership. I'm Abel Lopez, and let me just tell you that it's great to be here with you today. So we're going to go into this next leadership value, and it's called perseverance. Like we've done in previous classes, I want you to write down what you believe perseverance is. Your definition. Remember, there's no right or wrong answers. Remember that leaders think for themselves. And remember that if you have no plan, you're always going to be at the mercy of those who do have a plan. You remember hanging out in your neighborhood? There was always one of our friends that always had the plan. We kind of had an idea what we wanted to do, but Johnny always said, no, we're not going to do that. This is what we're going to do. And here we all go, 10 of us all following him. See, Johnny had a plan. We didn't have one, so we were at his mercy. So don't be that person anymore. You must be a great leader. Apply these values to your life. So in the next 60 seconds, write down what you think perseverance is. Go. All right, well, let's define it. Let's define what perseverance is. To persist in a state, enterprise, or undertaking in spite of counter-influence, opposition, or discouragement. Wow, that's a long definition. I remember when I wrote that definition down, I didn't understand it. That was just too much for me to understand. So I'm going to help you just like I help myself in understanding perseverance. How could I apply it to my life? In order to apply it, I had to understand what it was. So I'm going to break it down. Counter-influences. A leader will create distance from peers with negative goals and dreams. Think about that for a second. A leader will create distance from peers with negative goals and dreams. So here we are in the journey to understand what perseverance is. And one of the steps is that you're going to have counter-influences that come your way. That could be friends that are going nowhere, friends that are going a total different direction from where you are. We must begin to create distance from them, or else it'll just take us away from our goals. It'll take us from our lifelong dream. So think about people in your life today that maybe have negative goals and dreams. They're not going where you're going. If you're going to persevere, if you're going to accomplish the great things in life that you're set out to do, you must begin with the first step, and that's confronting counter-influences. Now, how do I do that? I don't just go tell my friend, hey, you know what? I can't hang out with you because you're just a loser. No. We've been friends since elementary, but I begin to distance myself in relationships with them and hanging out with relationships of people that are going where I'm going. Identify those people in your lives. Opposition is another one when it comes to perseverance. How do we deal with opposition? Well, here it is. Many will cross your path, but none can derail you from the goal. Many will cross your path, but none can derail you from your goal. What a powerful statement. The fact that I can't control the people that across my life in my lifetime. But I do know one thing, they will not keep me from my goal. I might sit down and have a lunch with them. I might sit down and have breakfast with them. I might sit down and play some games with them, but I will not allow them to derail me from my goal. So how do you handle opposition? It's the fact that you are able to identify. 1, they're not going where I'm heading. 2, I cannot allow them to derail me. Discouragement is another. When we talk about perseverance, discouragement is going to come our way. And sometimes we can't persevere because we don't understand how to get over the hump of discouragement. But we must identify where it comes from. Sometimes it can come from friends. Now, how does it come from friends? Well, very easily. There's so many times we try to do the right thing. The right thing is go to bed on time. The right thing is get up on time. The right thing is get our homework done. The right thing is not to go to that party. The right thing is to do what our parents ask us to do. Oh, be obedient. The right thing is to clean my room. So many times we want to do the right thing, but yet maybe our friends see us and they said, why are you doing homework? You're dumb. You can't even do it. You're just like us. So discouragement comes in, and instead of you experiencing perseverance in your life, you once again experience failure. You know the feeling. I know the feeling. It can come from family. Discouragement can come from family. I ran into a student. He said, hey, Mr. Lopez, I want to become a lawyer. All right? I want to become a lawyer. I said, well, go do it. You can do it. Everything's here accessible to you. You're in a school that teaches government. They have a law academy. You can become a lawyer. He said, no, I can't. Why? He said, well, my dad's a construction worker. My brothers are construction workers. My uncles are construction workers. My grandfather was a construction worker. I said, okay, so you want to be a lawyer? He said, that's the problem. They're telling me that if I become a lawyer, that I'm not a man. Because in order to be a man in their eyes, I must be a construction worker. And that's not what I want to do. You see how discouragement can come from family? The people that love you the most, that want the best for you, but sometimes their leadership is off. So you can't even allow them to discourage you from where you want to get to in life. Another one is teachers. Oh yeah, teachers. If you're seeing this segment today, it's true. Not everybody is going to like you. Hey, I walked into R.O. Turner High School one day, sat down with a young man who was upset. I said, why are you angry? He said, because my English teacher doesn't like me. I said, I believe you. He says, he said, what did you say? I said, I believe you. He said, man, nobody in this school believes me. She doesn't like me. I said, yeah, I know. He said, why do you believe me? I said, well, why would you lie to me? He said, well, you're right. I wouldn't lie to me. I don't even know you. But he says, why do you believe me? I said, because this is probably going to be hard for you to understand, but not everybody likes me either. He said, well, I can understand that. I said, so what are you going to do? He said, well, I don't know. I said, why do you come to this country? He said, my parents brought me here. They paid all their money to bring me here to America so that I would have a better lifestyle and I would get an education. I said, is that happening? He said, well, I'm coming to school. I said, what do you think about your parents? He said, I want to honor my parents. I said, so you're flunking English and that's honoring your parents? He put his head down and said, no, that's not honoring my parents. I said, so what must you do? He said, I'm going to go back into that class. I'm going to do my work. I said, understand that not everybody's going to like you, but it's okay. Are you going to keep a teacher from keeping you from reaching your life dreams and goals? Because today might be a teacher, tomorrow it might be your boss at work. So every time that a boss doesn't like you, you're going to quit and give up and go find something else to do? He said, you know what? I'm going to do it. He got up, he shook my hand, and he took off. And he was smiling. The school counselor came and says, what did you tell this guy? I just said, I believe him. And I said, buddy, does everybody like you? He said, no. Well, then what's so hard to believe that this teacher doesn't like him? When I was here in school, not everybody liked me either. Some of my teachers didn't like me because I reminded him or her of a past student that they had that gave them a hard time. So as soon as I walked into the front door and they saw me, because I looked like somebody in their past, they hated me. But you can't allow teachers to keep you from where you're going. So discouragement can come from friends, can come from family, can come from teachers. But here's the biggest one. Discouragement can come from self. A 60-year-old man was asked, what's the biggest obstacle in your life that you've faced? He said, the biggest obstacle has been me. I kept myself from fulfilling my goals. Why is it true that discouragement, when we talk about this, self is the biggest part of it? Well, because we know everything about us. I mean, we see each other in our mirrors every morning when we wake up. We see who we are. We see what we can't do, where our inabilities are. But let me just remind you something, that you're at a stage that you're developing into a great leader. So I don't expect you to have it all right in your life. If you want to become a doctor or if you want to become a lawyer, you can. Obviously, you don't have the tools right now, but it's going to be a building process. You must start somewhere with discipline, with leadership, with integrity. And now you're going to start overcoming the things that have kept you back from reaching your goals every day. So it's friends, family, teachers, and self. Get beyond it. Here's the unchangeable truth. The tests that come my way will produce endurance to persevere. Think about that statement and what it means. The tests that come my way will produce endurance to persevere. Now think about this. Every year I'm a Cowboy fan to the core. I tell people that I bleed blue, my veins are blue. But every year as I get ready for football season, I start to see, and you can hear the announcers saying, wow, the third quarter of the first game, you start seeing these players, they're tired. But as the season goes on, their conditioning improves. And once the playoff gets here, they can play 5 quarters, and they're going to be fine. Why? Because all the tests that came their way during the season produced endurance to persevere. Only one team wins. And only one team perseveres. But it's the team that passed all those tests. So whatever challenges that you're facing today, whatever it is that you're going through in this area of perseverance in your life, think about this. They're all just tests. They're going to make you stronger, and they're going to produce endurance so that you can win, so that you can persevere. Now, in these next few minutes, I want you to write down 3 areas of your life where you're not persevering. 3 areas where you're not persevering, you're really failing, but you're going to say, you know what, Abel? I need to change that in my life. I'm not going to allow teachers, friends, family, self. I'm not going to allow anybody to derail me from where I'm heading. These are the 3 areas that I'm going to start working on because I have been failing. So take these next 60 seconds and do that. Well, we're in our journey segment, and you know what you must do. Take that form, take your journey sheet, and answer these 3 questions for us. What did I learn today? How will I apply it? And where am I? Just where are you? We want to know where you are. It matters to us. We want to see you improve. We want to see you grow. And we want to see you successful. Remember that leadership is not only about today, but it's beyond junior highs, beyond high school, beyond your university days. It's about life for generations to come. So go ahead and write it down and answer those 3 questions.